Seeing how good the new 911 GTS is in standing traffic and 30-degree heat is clearly a very astute move. The GTS is available in all three 911 body styles: Coupe, Targa, and Cabriolet. It's the latest turbocharged 991.2, and thanks to an additional 30 bhp it now produces 444 bhp, and is capable of getting close to 200 miles per hour. 30 years ago, these figures were good enough for the 959, 15 years ago, that was 911 turbo territory, and today, it's the one to buy if you're after a usable 911 that turns up the wick on track. Fans of the Porsche 911 will love this one. It has more power and it goes a little faster, but there are lots of particularly desirable details and specification tweaks. The joy of the Carrera GTS lies in the specs. Aficionados will spot the smoked rear lenses, black tailpipes and 20-in alloys, but the turbo-style wide body is an obvious change over vanilla 911s. We're testing the two-wheel drive GTS in manual form, which is good and bad. It's a shame that Porsche reckons just 10% of buyers will buy it thus equipped, because the remaining 90% who choose the easy-to-use PDK system are missing out. For purity of response, the manual is as tactile as a 991.2 gets these days. The Carrera GTS starts to wake up as the speeds increase. You can just leave it as is, and enjoy the ride, but playing with the driving mode spot dial on the steering wheel will allow the more sensitive driver to tune in fully. It's here you can tweak the power steering and active damping to suit personal preference. The center of the dial unlocks an aptly named Sport Response Mode, 2, allowing a potential overboost shot of power for around 20 seconds. Push to pass is nothing but a gimmick on the road, but fun nevertheless. But such frivolities shouldn't take anything away from the Carrera GTS's overall competence. There's more acceleration from lower in the rev range than the S, which marries beautifully with the sensitive and progressive throttle. The flat 6 pulls hard from as little as 1,500 revolutions per minute, and joy of joys, there's little indication that it's turbocharged. Boost is great, but traditionally the muffling effect of a turbocharger can sanitize the soundtrack, and dull the throttle. Not here. The hard-edged soundtrack that marks it out as a proper 911 is undistilled. But just to be sure, Porsche has added a completely unnecessary loudness switch for its active exhaust. At the track, you'll get closer to exploring the Carrera GTS's limits. Porsche has honed the Carrera GTS's damping and braking to make it sharper, but not to the point where it's too challenging to drive fast. Porsche's electronic dynamic chassis control system manages damping and traction beautifully, but not at the expense of feedback. The brakes are equally at home on track, seemingly working better the later and harder you use them. The transition from deceleration to turn-in is instant and rewarding, and helps inspire confidence.